Let's trade it with Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, who may believe, though, that maybe this thing can hold up at $200. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, that's why volatility is so high right now, Oliver. Like you guys just said, there's so much going on with this stock. It's not just the overall market, but it's obviously the Musk and Twitter stuff. So I do like this low of support that we have seen that you were just alluding to, in the 220 to 225 area. Obviously, if it breaks there, 200 is the next level. But what I like here is that short-term support. So for next week, these are next week's options. I'm selling the 230, 225 put spread for about $1.50. Now, my break even on that would be 228.50. That's going out to next week. The reason I'm only going next week is because we've got earnings the following week. I don't want to have that position on for earnings. So I think we hold here prior to running into earnings. And in fact, depending on where the stock is, if we're, if that put spread comes through and we're somewhere in the 225 to 230 range, I probably want to take a long position going into earnings. Contrary to, maybe what you guys were talking about. The numbers they just released over the weekend, a little lighter than expected. I think some of that is baked in, and I think that the gap fill, if you look from a technical standpoint, there's a gap fill up around 265. I actually thought we were going to get there 2 days ago when Tesla was rallying, got up into the high 240s. Looked to me like it wanted to make a run to that 265 level. I still think that is within range. And again, after this put spread goes away next week, whether I close it or it just expires, I'll more than likely look to take some sort of long position into earnings.
Okay. So the selling of the put spread, defined risk, looking for some stability, some upside, but you give yourself a little bit of flexibility. If we touch that 200 low, if we go back to the P&L real quick, let's say we go down, we touch that 204. That's too far for this trade, right?
Yeah, if we gap down there or we get down there, and I haven't exited this put spread, that thing can go to $5. So I know what my risk is. It is defined risk. If it's not in a gap and the stock is just trading on its way down there, I will have stopped myself out prior. But, let's say some news comes out and the stock does open at 210, 205, whatever it may be. Yeah, the maximum that could be worth is $5.
Gotcha. Okay. So the response this week, it's kind of a rare underperformance by Tesla. Doesn't scare you, Scott, that, or is that part of the theory here that maybe, hey, this is kind of already processed fairly extreme punishment for its numbers relative to the rest of the market?
Yeah, that's what I see here. I see this again as maybe the contrarian view of, all right, there's a lot of negativity baked in already here. There's the uncertainty with Musk and Twitter, whether Tesla really has, a part in that. Maybe it does, because maybe if he can't get his financing, he's got to sell some more stock. I don't know, but I think a lot of that is baked in here.
Okay. Hey, how's the vibe down there today, Scott, as we start off this week with absolute bullish fireworks? Have they fizzled, or do we have another wind coming tomorrow?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anticipation ahead of tomorrow, and what I see, and especially talking to a lot of the traders down here, is just a lot of juggling of positions today so that retail or institutional players get in the position they want to have going into the print tomorrow morning. I think we're going to trade in a pretty muted range today compared to where we've been. Now, we've already been, down 30 or so in the S&Ps, back to positive, back down. We're down 26 right now, but all things considered, that's a pretty muted range compared to how we've traded. And I think, again, that's what we're going to see the rest of the day today.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, Scott. Good stuff.
Thanks,
on the put spread in Tesla. Looking for some stability in the stock after a rough week here. Scott's the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, of course, joining us from the SIBO